1 host, 2 hosts, 3 hosts, 4. All the bounty hunters tonight have received a high score. Ah, come on. Everyone, welcome back to another 4-host-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Grace.
And we are back with a top 5, doing top 5 bounty hunters. And it's such a big category. We had to get the whole team together, all 4 of us. We surprised Andrew with Grace's presence. He didn't know she was going to be on.
I did not.
And we were like, we have to have these two meet eventually and be on air. So we did tonight.
So what better way than to meet
I'm pumped.
over Zoom as a surprise on the podcast. It felt really natural and easy and not awkward at all.
Yeah, well, it was funny too because I was watching. I had Discord up on my main screen, so it was just the 3 of us, and I had Zencastr over on my second screen, and I happened to see out of the corner of my eye that like someone joined. But it didn't register right away, so I was still looking, and then I was like, "There's another person here," and it was definitely it caught me off guard. But it's a pleasant surprise. It's not you that caught me off guard. Okay. It's the fact that Jeremiah didn't tell me. It's fine.
Great. Let's blame Jeremiah. Perfect.
Yeah. No.
Good way to start the podcast.
I'm super excited. It's normal for.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, this is normal. This is normal. But nah, I'm super pumped. This is gonna be great.
Me too.
So everyone loves doing top 5. So it was like a month ago. I think someone named Rafa sent in a voicemail asking for who our favorite bounty hunters were, and we were like, why don't we just do this as an episode? And it got a little delayed, but we're finally here. We're doing it for Rafa. So hopefully, Rafa, you're listening. And hopefully this answers your question for who our favorite bounty hunters are. But before we jump into that, we got a couple things to go over. One, if you have not watched last week's episode of the podcast, go watch that.
True.
We did a special episode. I put probably like 20 hours into editing it because I wanted to visualize what we did.
20 hours?
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
That's Drew. That's about right. For what he had to do, that's pretty spot on.
So we did a blind ranking episode where I took a bunch of random Star Wars topics and one at a time gave items on these lists to Drew and Andrew.
Honestly, tonight would have been the night to do it because we got all of us. It would have been fire, but...
Well, I think
we'll have to do it again.
We'll for sure have Grace on one for a blind ranking, but
you did really well with the questions, especially towards the end. They were really good.
Did I rewatch it? Yes, I did.
So
it was awesome.
I have a question for Drew.
Yes.
And I'm not going to give any context until you answer.
Okay.
Was it a sock?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then I was like, "Wait, no."
Okay, I'll tell everyone as a sneak peek, as a little Easter egg. If you're listening to this, watching this one, an incentive to go at least check out the other video. So on the thumbnail, Drew and I are both blindfolded because it's a blind ranking challenge. We're both wearing socks as our blindfolds.
Okay.
Which is why I asked if it was a sock. Because when
Dobby.
Yeah.
That's my first thing. I just went to Harry Potter. I was like, what about Dobby right now? Why are we talking about Dobby? But yes, it was a sock.
So Jeremiah asked for us to be wearing blindfolds, and I have a sleep mask, but it was like so thick and so puffy, it just didn't look good. And so I found a black sock. Yeah. I lint rolled that thing more than I've ever lint rolled anything else. I even took one of those fabric shavers where it like gets the little nubs, fabric nubs up. And I just went ham on that thing. And then I got a chip clip and stretched the sock really tight and clipped it in the, because it was like, I don't have big enough feet that like you could tie it. And then I took the picture. And then Drew, what was it, like a was like a week later or something.
No, it was like he had 2.5 weeks to get me the picture of him blindfolded.
Yeah.
And it was like a day before, like, I need this so I can
post. And I see the notification. He's like, Drew.
So like I kept messaging him, texting him, like, and he was never getting me this thing. And so I made a custom one where I took the blue guy from Mandalorian. What was the species? I
don't know.
Crap.
He's the guy with the
I hate him.
The Finn guy. The guy that Mando the first episode
very first episode, yeah.
And I took him because Drew hates him. I put him on the thumbnail, and I put like a regular sock, like the shape of a sock.
It was just a PNG, and it was just like on the guy's face too.
And I'm like, Drew, if you don't get me this thing ASAP, this is gonna be our thumbnail. And then the next morning, he had it for me.
So there's an Easter egg for everyone, because when I saw it come through, I couldn't tell, but I've been wanting to ask if you did the same thing.
So Steph, I was like, okay, I need to do a blindfold or whatever. I was like, do you have a bandana? Steph's like, no, but just use one of my socks. So Steph actually came up with it. So you can't tell in the photo, but I shoved the sock in the back of my hat and put my hat on because hers was even tight enough to even put a clip around it because her foot's so small, because she wears size 5 in women's shoe. So I was like, it's really small. So I was like, shoved it. So she was like helping me, and then she took the picture real quick before it fell down. So it looks good. It looks really good, but
you wouldn't be able to tell for either of us unless you looked really, really closely.
Yep. But that episode was one of the best episodes we've ever done. Super fun.
I agree.
I love torturing Drew and Andrew, especially Andrew in that last category.
It was hard. It was hard.
But yes, go check that out. A lot of fun.
Grace, you didn't watch it. It was
Sorry, can you give me one more Easter egg? Like, what were you ranking?
So it was random Star Wars
everything.
Rankings. So I give them a category and I give them the first item. And they had to put it on their top 5 somewhere, not knowing what I was going to tell them next.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay.
So it was so fun.
So we did a ranking for movies. We did like characters. We did like planets.
And the last one, here's a little spoiler. The last one was everything. So up until that point, it was like all categories. It was like, rank your bounty hunters, your planets you want to visit, all that stuff. And then the last one is like, we're just doing everything, all of Star Wars. And like one of them was just like lightsabers. And then one was it John Williams?
Yeah, John Williams was
like,
one. So you're like, how do we rank this?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
So I think every time we do it, we're definitely going to do the top 10 random ranking at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every single time. It's for fun.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I put a lot of work in it. So if you haven't watch that, go check us out on YouTube and just give me a thumbs up on that. And
yeah, we got to all do it together. That would be
hit the bell notification.
Yeah, I'm getting FOMO that I wasn't on that episode.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. We got to redo it or do it again, because it was, and people like it because it's one of our most viewed ones as well on YouTube.
We got a lot of views on that. But also,
my request is that Grace is there for the next one. Whenever it has to be to make that work, I'm in. Just
tell them that it's blind ranking and just like, oh, I'm coming.
I'm in.
We're doing it.
Ready.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
All right, cool. All right, enough of that. But we do have some Star Wars news that we should go over. Unfortunately, the other day, the GOAT, James Earl Jones, passed away at the age of 93, I believe it was.
93,
yeah.
So definitely the voice of probably the most iconic character in cinema history, maybe. It's not a hot take. I think that's a strong argument.
He's definitely top 5 icon.
I would say number 1. Dude.
Number 1, but then he's been in so many things, especially.
I'm not even including just Star Wars. I mean, freaking
movies.
The King of Lions. Like, come on. Like Mufasa. Mufasa, man. Like.
Yep. So
yeah, he's one of those people that, like, when you find out how old he was and how much of life he lived, you're like, okay, this, it makes sense. He lived a really, really good life, but he's also one of those people that you kind of hoped was just always going to be there,
Yeah.
Like, he's just one of those presences and his contributions. You just always hope somewhere he's still doing his thing, but
Well, he could show up in a cloud out of the sky and start talking to us. That'd be true. Cool.
That'd be awesome. I'll take it.
But yeah,
it's a very, very sad day in Star Wars, I think, when we found that news. Because I don't know, like, you always like want to meet your Star Wars characters as a fan, like if you have an opportunity, and like kind of sad I never had the opportunity to meet him, because I feel like he would have been a really nice guy to meet. And I mean, Field of Dreams, Sandlot, like he's done so many cool stuff, like things that I watched as a kid. So yeah, that was a rough one.
Yep.
Like for me, it was more rough than like losing Leia. Like, I don't know why it hit differently for me. I think it's also Mufasa too. Like that's a huge thing as a kid growing up watching Lion King. So
yep. And it would be interesting to see, like, in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, they used AI to do his voice.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if now that he's passed, like, what they're gonna do with.
I'm pretty sure he gave them permission.
Yeah, because the last film he did was Rogue One.
Yeah, he gave
and
them permission.
He said that was the last one that he was gonna do as Vader, but he gave them permission to keep going with it. So,
but then again, like, I don't know in the future if we're gonna really like revisit, like when the next time will be that we even revisit
Vader
in the original trilogy. You know, that era, because like. You know, things seem to be going in very different directions now, moving forward, at least in the movies. So, I mean,
the direction they want to go, they canceled. So who knows the direction they're going to go now?
Well, that's a whole different story. We don't need to go into that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I feel like the potential of a Vader show is almost more likely now than before. I don't
think we're.
You don't think so?
I don't think we're going to get a Vader show. No.
I think it would be. It's a missed opportunity.
If they do, they can't retcon the comics.
I want them to do the comics though, because people don't read the comics at the same level that they'll watch something on Disney Plus, and it's such a good story. But I think I've talked maybe with Drew and Jeremiah about this before. It just doesn't seem like they want to. Bring those to the screen for some reason.
No.
But if you want more Vader content, go watch our Comics with Grace episodes where she went over some Darth Vader comics. So go check that out. And if you like that, there's always going to be more Comics with Grace in the future. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the news we have for today. So let's jump into this top 5 bounty. Yes. Question.
It's related to the bounty hunter thing. So if you have something more you want to say, go for it. But I had an observation.
Yes.
So when I was making my list, one of the things that I did was like I just Googled like top bounty hunters, because I have an idea who I want to be on my list, but I don't want to forget anyone. And so that's one of the ways. Like I did it for canon and I did it for Legends, right? And I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but there's not a lot.
No,
there's. I think I saw an article that was like 62 or something like that, but like
I couldn't even find that.
62,
but like 50 of them are all like background characters you see.
They're not fleshed out at all.
But like you only have 10 to 15 that you actually have screen time in a movie or like in the shows or something. So I feel like we're gonna have a lot of the same characters tonight.
Oh, 100%.
I structured my list. There are some that are unavoidable that have to be here, but I tried to include one and a version of another character from the expanding universe purposely to see if we could get some diversity. Because I was looking through the list, and like 4 or 5 websites in a row, it was the same 15 characters in different orders, and I was like, So
down to the same like wording in the article where I was like, you clearly just copied and pasted from this other list, and like that's bad journalism.
It was pretty.
Where's our integrity?
And so, since Grace has never done a top 5 with us, so if we say something and it's also on your list, don't tell us until you get to your thing. So, because we'll have some repeats at maybe
unless
at
you're
spots.
Like me and you blurt it out by I always do that.
Okay.
No, don't.
But don't be like me.
So who's going first?
Who wants to go first?
I mean,
we get it. I think we get a pick. I thought you would already have this planned out.
No, we always go random. Andrew, you're gonna say something?
What? I was saying Grace should go first.
Oh, Grace. All right, you've been nominated, Grace.
That's fair.
Who is
your? You get Grace, then who?
or I can go. It doesn't matter.
You go first. You go first because I want to see, how much I should be saying, how I should intro it. Yeah, give me
don't use me.
Perfect example.
I talk way too much. So.
Perfect example. She said.
Okay, my number 5 is the IG. I would say the IG series droids because you have 88 and 11.
Yeah, what? We could do that? Hold on, let me change my screen.
I like 88 is, well, okay. How many other instances of those droids being on? There is that one random scene in Clone Wars where who is it? Ahsoka.
I think it's Ahsoka. I can see them 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's like way back there where she has to fight him in like a warehouse. But other than that, the only 2 instances we have of these characters on screen is Empire Strikes Back and of course Mando.
Right.
But
so
I had
like
to include
cheating though.
No. They're I don't want to say they're the same, but like,
well, if you had to pick one of the 2.
Yeah.
Okay, if I had to pick one of the 2, I would pick IG-11 because of the screen time. Okay. And because you see how just BA he can be in just like the whole targeting thing, firing super quickly. He's just like a great shot. Like this scene of him flying through on the speeder bike and like shooting all around him it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to not say 88 because of his reputation. He doesn't have hardly any time in the Expanding Universe books that I've read, but he also has a really like insane reputation for being ruthless and just like cold even for a droid. Like I'm pretty sure they said that. It was like he's ruthless even for a droid. But yeah, I mean like the IG series droids are really cool, really good at their jobs.
IG-88 has really cool weapons.
Yeah.
He has like two swords that come out of his back.
He does? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I have the figure. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do we ever see him on screen like using the swords?
No. He's just standing in the background because I don't even think they had in
he didn't
episode
even move.
5 they didn't have a way to make him
he physically couldn't move. I'm pretty sure they wheel him in on like a cart and then like place him and then his head moves.
Yeah.
He's like you see his eyes
it's
moving.
Like a puppet.
But they reused the parts from the cantina.
Yeah, that was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And from episode 4, they take all those pipes in the background, and they just make them into.
And that's why there's a lot of like bar scenes in other times, and you can always see like IG head as like part of like a spigot or like a spout for like alcohol. Because even if you go to Galaxy's Edge, they have IG heads in the bar.
They do. It made me really happy the first time I saw that.
Yeah, when I saw it too, I was like so happy and stuff. It's like you're annoying. But that's...
So yeah, I don't have a ton to say about them, but they're really cool.
All right,
that's fair. Now, Grace, you know how it works. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And it's good that I'm directly following Andrew because my number 5 was IG-11.
Hey.
Whoa.
I actually think that the rest of my list is going to introduce some diversity because I think I realized as I was putting together this list, I'm just not super into bounty hunters. Like some of the big ones,
Who invited the new guy?
I know, it's really bad. Of all episodes, I don't know. They're like, why are they bad people? I don't like it. They're not nice. They're out there killing. Like they're kind of scary.
Kidnapping kids.
They don't have cute outfits. Like I
don't know.
Well, she's got a point though. They really don't.
Cat Bane's outfit's pretty cute. What are you talking about? That hat? It goes a long way.
No. And don't worry, we will talk about Cat Bane and his attractive outfit, but but I like IG-11 because he is both very cool and powerful, and also he has some like other characteristics that are apart from his career as a bounty hunter. I like that in that first time we meet him when he and Mando are competing to get Grogu, he's kind of funny. They're doing some banter, or he like doesn't realize he's being funny, but he is. And then I like when he kept doing the thing with the self-destruct in that moment. That was really funny. And then I like his character arc in the show. So obviously, like I like the ultimate sacrifice. I like him caring for Grogu. I don't like how he came back in the the most recent season. That was kind of silly, but
I don't either.
He's the Marshal of Navarro now.
Yeah, but
Taika Waititi voices him.
I cannot believe I forgot that. Yeah,
he's so funny.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Do you like him
Still
more
waiting
as
for that movie, but
IG-11 or as what's the character in the Marvel movies, like the Rock one?
Korg.
Yeah.
Korg has more personality.
He does. I was gonna say there's more to go with Korg.
I agree.
So sweet.
All right, cool. Drew.
Okay, I'll go. You know him.
Sorry, dude.
You love him. Jango Fett.
Oh, is that low on your list?
Yeah,
that's surprising.
I have a good list. That's
okay.
I mean,
right.
It's only 5. It's not like
it's like we're not gonna be surprised.
Like 10. Yeah, Jango Fett. Without Jango Fett, you wouldn't have Boba Fett. So that's one good reason. Also, like the amount of fighting that we got with him was so much more significant at the time than we did with Boba. So I thought that was like when we first got him introduced and when he fought Obi-Wan in the rain and he was like using his like arm stuff to grip and stuff. I thought that was really, really cool as a kid.
The core strength. Have you thought about the core strength to get on the side of a column like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like unnatural.
So like that stuff was cool. And then like that was the first time we saw like Mandalorian flying too. So like there's a lot of like first with his characters and then like he also without him there'd be no clones. So like we didn't really the whole thing about how he like we didn't really see him bounty hunt to say in that, but we know that he has a high reputation for bounty hunting for sure. But yeah, like the only bounty hunter we saw, he actually hired someone who used a worm to kill someone attempt, and then it kind of just went around and then he killed the person he hired. But
did you see my joke in Discord, Drew?
Which one?
How my list was gonna be
all that
Sam, the droid, then the worms, and then like what was it, what did I say, the high ground, and what was the other one, Jeremiah? The annoying guy from Tatooine that Mando pairs up with Mango.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
The one guy that no one remembers.
Yeah, the knockoff Han Solo.
Oh my gosh, that guy was so
Drew, did you know that in the EU, Jango was the Mandalore?
I thought he wasn't a Mandalorian in the EU.
So,
because originally wasn't he killed a Mandalorian to?
Yeah, so
he took his armor and then he took his name originally.
In the EU, Mandalorians were essentially adopted anyone. It wasn't like a bloodline thing. It was like it was very, very strong in like adopting people, no matter who you were. Like it was more
like the foundlings.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a way of life that you adopted, and like there were in that era there were just like so many different types of quote unquote Mandalorians that went far beyond like humans and stuff like that. And in the Republic Commando novels, you find out that he was the Mandalore on Mandalore for a while and led them. And then when he died, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen Attack of the Clones yet, it left like a power vacuum. And the Mandalorians, at least throughout the Clone Wars, never fully recovered. They were kind of beaten. It's really interesting, but anyway,
I always thought that he wasn't, because that was like my thought going into the Mandalorian show was like, well, Boba wasn't a real Mandalorian because his dad became a Mandalorian by killing, and then he stole the name for hiding purposes. I think that was original. I originally thought that's how his character was, but then of course they just took all that out of it. But
yeah,
it's still really cool. I should read those because that sounds really dope.
Well, spoiler alert, I have a character from those books on my list.
Ooh.
So I'll give you some more context there.
So yeah, Jango is my number 5. All right, Jeremy, what you got?
My number 5 is Bosk.
Ooh.
And the only reason I have him on my list is because I really liked playing as him in Star Wars Battlefront Heroes versus Villains. Because he was like, really, he could throw this toxic dioxis gas. He could see through smoke and like see body heat. And then he had like this grenade launcher thing. He could just like boom, 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 like all over.
That's literally what it made that noise.
Huh?
Clip that, everyone. Right, clip that. Make some memes.
Boom, boom, boom.
So it was just a lot of fun playing as him, and you could just like take out a bunch of people in a small area. And sure, he has some cool stuff in the Clone Wars. Like we do see him a little bit. Like he fights Ahsoka when she gets kidnapped and thrown in the like kind of like the Hunger Games thing.
I love those episodes. I feel like I watch them all the time. Like and he's good in those episodes.
Yeah, and so he's just a cool guy and kind of a little mysterious from like the original trilogy when he's just standing up there. You don't know anything about him.
He looks like a rubber statue in those movies. Like I obviously have mad respect for what they were at the time, but like if you go back in some of the lists that I saw, they would show photos of that scene for like, especially for like Zuckuss and Lam 4, and you're just like, they did a really good job with what they had. And now,
was there somebody actually playing him in the originals, or was it just a rubber statue?
I think there was. I do know that his suit was, they recycled it from an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, cool!
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
Before.
So, but I don't remember. I don't remember if anyone was in the costume, but like they had.
Well, the face couldn't move. I know that.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah, like it couldn't do anything. Yeah. And that's what I remember when they're like saying that there's going to be more of his species and like future stuff. We're like, how are they going to move his face? Because he's like a lizard thing. Like,
I'm sorry, what was that?
Alligator.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to do it? They figured it out, but I think that was one sad thing. Like, we never got to, like, we thought we were going to see his character in the Book of Boba, like on that panel of all the other bounty hunters.
We thought we're going to get a lot with the Book of Boba.
Okay, well, we're not going to go there. That's a different podcast episode that I'm not going to be.
We've already done. So go back to about 2.5 years ago when we did the Book of Boba Fett.
Gosh, it's been that long. I need to go watch those again.
That's wild.
I don't know that you do. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Like, actually, don't.
It's good from 5 down. It's really good.
Now there's episode 2 is really good. That's the train heist one. That's really good train heist episode. There's some really good stuff in that show.
True.
It's just
it was
just kind of boring at times.
Like the episodes that we barely saw Boba.
The best parts of
those were really good.
Yeah, those were the good parts.
I liked that episode.
All right, so that's my number 5 just because he was just fun to play with online against a bunch of kids that I could just destroy.
All right, Grace.
We're at Andrew.
Okay.
Oh shoot, Andrew. Yeah, my bad.
Andrew.
See, I already forgot the order. There's too many people.
Good old
Andrew.
Din.
Number 4. What's your number 4?
Din Djarin.
Jarin?
Huh?
Yes.
You said Garin?
No, Djarin.
Yeah, Din Djarin. This is my number 4.
What?
No, the first time when Drew said Din, he said Din Garin.
No, maybe it sounded like it.
Well, anyways,
it did sound like it.
Mando is my number 4.
Okay, cool.
There's a lot of love.
So low.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my gripe with Mando. Okay, he's highly skilled. What?
People have gripes with Mando?
No, I just have a gripe with.
With
Mando.
Okay.
So
here we go.
There are times when he's incredibly skilled. He's doing really well. He carries himself like a warrior. He's super knowledgeable. And then there's times where he's just like struggling and like kind of bumbling around on screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hoping in the show that, like, I don't know, there would be times where he'd be like a better fighter or something. And this is super nitpicky, I know. But then there's times where he just gets like thrown around and gets his butt handed to him. And while that's very humanizing, that's what kept him from being higher on the list. Because like on one hand, like he's done so much. He's fought the Empire. Like obviously he's super accomplished as a bounty hunter, and that's why like I wanted to keep him in my top 5. But there are definitely times where you look at him and you're like, how did you survive?
Yeah,
not all the time.
How many times did Grogu save his butt?
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
that's
like
true, but
a little baby had to save
it's
him.
like
That's how
it's
good
like
in
the episodes. Some of the episodes he like intentionally uses his armor to attract fire, and I'm like, sure, if you have Beskar, use it, right? That's smart, but also at the same time, it's like there are other bounty hunters that wouldn't even get shot.
Okay, all right. Let me back up my boy here real quick. See, the thing is, before, I doubt he handled the situation that he was handling since we got his character.
Yeah. I'll give you.
He wasn't fighting the Empire before. He was just hunting little blue guys across the galaxy and putting them in, like, in whatever the freeze. Like carbon. He was carbon there. That's the word. But like he wasn't handling what he's handling now. Once you bring a Force user on, you're gonna get anti-Force users with it. Like that's kind of how this works. It's like you can't have a best friend you can use the Force and not expect someone to come try to kill him. Like that's kind of how Star Wars works. So it kind of makes sense why he's struggling now.
Sure. And I, you know what, I concede on that point. I like the opening when he like uses the door, he like uses the wire and he uses the door and you're like, oh, this guy means business, you know? And then he's like getting thrown around by the Mudhorn and stuff. I just can't help but think like Jango probably wouldn't be having these problems.
But you got to remember, he didn't have a jetpack.
Well, that's true. But all I'm saying is that there are definitely times where I'm like, this guy is the coolest. And then I'm like, what is going on? So I don't know.
All right.
There's my number 4.
Grace, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Cad Bane.
That low on the list, huh? All right.
I put him on the list because I like his hat.
Okay, I called that.
That's on brand for.
It's a great hat.
All right.
I also like blue characters, and he's blue. That was cool. I almost put Jango Fett on my list because he has blue armor.
How do you feel about his live action appearance?
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was getting to. Like he's both very good in animation and I thought was a character they translated pretty effectively into live action. Like
I think one of the best, honestly.
Yeah. Right? Like some of the other characters with painted skin, like Hera, for instance, look awful. Like I'm sorry. Like it just doesn't look very good. Sorry. Okay. The actress is great, but like I didn't love the effect. But yeah, with Cad Bane, it looks really good. The eyes look good. All of the like unexplained apparatus with the tubes and whatnot looks awesome. And I refuse to believe that he's dead because the character
Facts.
is like,
thank you.
It's too important. He's too important to kill him off. No. He's not dead. We're gonna see Cobb Vanth again. Like they're all coming back. It's fine.
Yeah.
I agree, Grace. He is not dead until we see a body.
So
that's not making noise and clicking.
Exactly.
And we didn't see his droid. He's not dead. His droid came and grabbed him. That's how this works. It's Star Wars.
The little guy.
The little guy.
Tito.
Yeah, Tito. Dragged him. Well, he didn't pick him up. He just dragged him across.
Oh, that sucks.
But Grace, so you mentioned the apparatuses he has. Do you know what those are for?
No, I don't. Do you? Yeah.
So those are breathing apparatuses so that a Jedi can't force choke him.
Mm-hmm.
So if they try to force choke him, he can still breathe.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay, so that's the other reason I like.
Why do you hate that, Andrew?
I don't hate that. It's so freaking cool.
You like rolled your eyes like that's stupid.
No.
They could just force choke the.
I want to say something about my list.
We'll get to it.
Nope,
but we're gonna get to it.
He's on everyone's list. We know this. And if he's not, you should leave right now because it doesn't make any sense. But yeah.
No, yeah, I he's one of the few of the like Clone Wars bounty hunters we see. I think he probably has the most successful record going up against the Jedi, and I love that.
Yeah,
dude, I still remember when I saw him for the first time in the Book of Boba. I think I screamed so loud. There's definitely a watch party. You guys can go back and watch
I have it recorded of me. So I've never posted it, but I have recording of me reacting to him in the Book of Boba Fett showing up.
You should put it in right here. All right, good job.
Okay.
You did. All right.
I gotta find it too. I don't know where I got it.
Oh god. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Drew.
Drewby.
Number 4. You know him. 2 of you already said you love him. IG-11.
Oh, okay.
I loved his character, and when he was a bounty hunter, and then also when he was the savior of Grogu. When he grabbed those those clones, or the troopers, I'm sorry, not clones, and he broke like the speeder in half with his hand, and it was so dope. It was so awesome. I still remember me and Jeremiah watching it on his couch, cheering it on, and we thought it was so cool. Like that whole thing, that whole beginning sequence of episode 8 of season 1 of Mando, when they can't aim and it's hilarious, and then he shows up and it's the whole thing is just amazing. So yeah, his character was one of the best, one of the most saddest characters that died. Fingers. And then like I don't know, like I'm not
Did
in
you really
love.
just say fingers out loud?
Fingers.
But people are listening. We still got listeners on Spotify.
Air quotes. That's what instead of fingers.
Sure, whatever.
Technical guy over say here. Bunny ears.
Bunny ears. Bunny ears. But yeah, like I didn't love when he came back as like Grogu driving him around. But like I thought it was kind of lame because when they started taking him apart and bringing him back, we thought like, okay, he's gonna come back as like him.
Yeah.
But then he actually turned back to the bounty hunter version and was gonna kill both them all, which was kind of funny. But yeah, I liked his character a lot. I agree. That's why I was mad. I was like, wait, we can pick him and IG-11 or 88? Because I was like, hold up, I wouldn't do that. Fix my list because IG-88 is also really cool. And there's with all his like extra weapons that he has, like I can just imagine what he would be like. So yeah, the IG droids are really cool. And I hope we get more of those characters in the future. It would be sweet.
All right, cool. So my number 4 is IG-11.
Nice.
Wow.
So like we said, we're gonna have a lot of repeats tonight. But yes, I think that scene in the first episode of Mandalorian, when it's just him and Mando going through the town to get what they didn't know was Grogu at the time. Just seeing like that type of like. Was it like mostly practical, like how they did that, or was it like So like just seeing like that, an IG droid going crazy. Like we've never seen it like that. We see a little bit in Clone Wars, but like it's just Clone Wars animation, like early animation for Clone Wars. But like this was like live action, bunny ears, and like just seeing it was just like the coolest thing. We never saw anything like that. And it's like this big. All right, this is the first TV show, live action TV show for Star Wars. It's the first episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of firsts in that episode.
A lot. They got to bring the big punches, and they show him us go crazy in this town, and it's like doing all this stuff. And like I forgot, like Grace mentioned, like the jokes of like him making like the self-destruct thing, like going like to do that like 3-4 times. Like he was just it was just funny, like seeing it, and like it was just really awesome. And then in that final episode where he, saves Grogu, kills the clone troopers, goes to the town, kills everybody, and then like sacrifices them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
But I would like to see like an IG-11 versus Uncle Iroh T cook-off, like blew off.
Ooh.
I just want to see how that could play out.
That's fair.
IG-11 might be able to give Uncle Iroh a run for his money, but yes, IG-11 is my number 4.
All right.
Andrew,
number 3.
Your number 3.
All right. My number 3 is Cal Skirata.
Nondisque.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. In all technicality, he's not technically a bounty hunter.
Oh,
but no, hold on, whoa,
this EU nonsense is getting out of control.
Hey. But he was a Mandalorian mercenary for years and years and years and years. Okay. So, like,
yeah,
he's done bounty hunting. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, Cal Skirata was one of the Mandalorians that Jango Fett in the expanded universe that Jango Fett pulled in to train clone commandos. So the commando units, including, oh my gosh, Omega Squad, who you play as in. Sorry, got a little excited. Not that Omega. Omega Squad in Republic Commandos, the game. So they're in this book series, by the way. So they were trained by another Mandalorian, but Jango brought in Mandalorian mercenaries to like actually hands-on train the commandos to make them like a cut above the rest. But this is a character that you get throughout all 4.
What just happened?
5? Hold on, I'm counting the books.
Oh, I was like,
sorry.
Someone breaking in your house or something?
I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 books, but you get him through the entire series. And I don't want to say too much if you're going to read. The books are fantastic. The books are fantastic.
What book series is this, you said?
Republic Commando series. It's like the EU Bad Batch. Like, that's really what it is. Like, you follow this 4-person squad. You really, really get a good like look into clone life and how they interacted with one another. Like it really is Bad Batch, with some pretty stark differences in terms of like how the war went, the Palpatine's plans, Order 66 and stuff like that. But it's really, really, really good. Like if you can get past the differences, you know, it's fantastic. But he is very, very BA. He's like a super top-notch warrior. By the time you meet him in these books, though, he's much older. I think he's in his like 60s, but he can still fight super, super well. He trains commandos. And then my favorite thing is seeing his role as a father. So he like legitimately loves his clones, the clones that he trains, as like a father would his sons. And so like he keeps up with all of his squads. He talks to them personally. Like he knows all their names and all this stuff. And like he plays his whole thing. This really isn't a spoiler, is stopping the accelerated aging for the clones because he wants them to have a normal life. Like he sees these human, men by the time that they get to the Clone Wars, they're all grown men, and he's like, I want them to have better lives. Like there's this whole thing where he's against the Republic just using them and like kind of throwing them away. So like some of the clone rights stuff that you get in the Bad Batch kind of comes. They're very similar stories, and so but he's just this character that embodies like all of the stereotypical like macho alpha male qualities, but he's also like so incredibly soft on the inside and like this like really loving and caring like father figure to these clones. And like, I don't know, I love this character. Like you don't really get him a ton in the first book, but when he finally enters the story, you're like, oh, this guy, he becomes instantly likable. So anyways, there you go. There's my number 3.
Cool. All right, Grace.
No.
What is the book that we'd want to start with if we wanted to get introduced to this character?
So it's the Republic Commando books.
Okay.
The first one is called Hard Contact.
Okay.
And you really kind of have to start with that one to get the full context for the other ones. But it's Hard Contact, and then oh gosh, 000, and then True Colors. And then so there's 5, Order 66. And that was gut wrenching to read, by the way, because you get it from a clone's perspective. And it's,
wow.
Y'all, it's heartbreaking because there's no inhibitor chips. Oh. And the way that they write Order 66, you'd probably be like, well, if the clones have served alongside the Jedi, why would they turn?
Yeah.
But Palpatine literally does such a good job of spreading misinformation and like genuinely turning them against one another. Like it's gut wrenching. And then of course there's one, they wrote another one called Imperial Commandos, which actually takes place after Order 66. And it's kind of sad because there were when that book ends, there's clearly more story to be told, but it was around the time that the canon was being wiped, or the EU was being wiped out, and the author, she was just like, I'm not going to do it anymore. So, but yeah, Hard Contact is the first one.
Okay.
So it's really good.
I didn't realize there was so much prequel EU content.
There's I feel like that's the one area of the Star Wars timeline that a lot of people gloss over in the EU, but there's like Clone Wars, and I don't technically know if some of this is canon or not because it ties directly into the Clone Wars, but there's like young adult or like kids novels for that. There's side stories for some of the episodes. There's like an entire series of books post Order 66 where I think it follows like a Jedi on Coruscant, like right after it happens when he's like trying to flee. And I think Obi-Wan is in that at some point, but yeah. So
fun. Okay. Well, I feel like my next one is really going to have a hard time competing with that. I really want to read those books now, but here we go. Also, I feel like maybe I should have reevaluated the order of my list.
Oh, it happens. Trust me.
But yeah, my next character is the bounty hunter Embo. Do you guys know who that is?
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
of course.
Oh, yeah.
Great. So yeah, speaking of hats, he is like Cad Bane, has a great hat, but it's even cooler because his hat is like multi-purpose. It can do the Captain America shield thing. It can be a sled. Do you guys remember the Clone Wars episode where he's like sledding on his hat? So cool. So yeah, I thought he was just kind of cool in the Clone Wars, and then I was like, okay, let me find some more information about this guy. I went on Wikipedia. Turns out this guy has an incredible story. He lived through the entire Star Wars saga, like all the way through the sequels, and then was like, yeah, I think I've had enough of bounty hunting. I am going to retire to a farm on Felucia and like have a life. He got pardoned for his crimes. And he just decided to be a farmer and settle down, and I loved it. And so, yeah, he's my number 3.
All right.
He's got one of the best designs, I feel like. Yeah, he just looks really cool. And he uses a bowcaster, which is pretty cool. Also, his species name that I don't remember is named after one of the characters in Seven Samurai.
Kyozo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's named after one of so that species is named after him. Yeah. Because if you remember correct, I don't know if this is his first appearance in the Clone Wars, but it was that episode on Felucia. Was it Felucia?
Oh, no. The one where they're like the villagers are getting attacked. Yes.
Yeah. So that's
I think it is on Felucia. Yeah.
That's the same. That is the Seven Samurai story. Like that is the plot of the Seven Samurai movie. Yeah. And I think that episode was dedicated to Kurosawa because I think he had just recently passed away. So there's a lot of Seven Samurai connections there, but he's cool. Wow. He's really cool.
Grace, have you read the Bounty Hunter comics?
No, I haven't. I feel like it's one of my big holes in the comics reading. I think he's in them though, right?
I'm not sure about that, but I was just looking his character up, and then the book came up, and I was like, oh, I forgot that there's a bounty hunter like comic series that I kind of want to read, and I keep forgetting about it.
So I do know that there's also the War of the Bounty Hunters trilogy.
Yeah, it's not canon. But
that's true. That's true.
But this is, and I kind of want to read it because Boba's in it, and yeah, but he's not the main character. I'm kind of curious.
Who is?
Some guy that we don't know. Kind of looks like a half droid, half person.
Oh, the guy who looks like a Terminator.
Yeah, he literally looks like the Terminator.
Yeah, they pulled him in from Legends.
What's his name? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Well,
but he was from. I'm pretty sure he's from one of the old Marvel comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the design of him?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Another incredible nugget about Embo I just noticed on his Wikipedia. Listen to this. Embo's alien language, devised by Filoni, is actually a badly enunciated version of the Smurf books written in French.
That's funny. That's dope.
I mean, okay.
That's amazing.
Now I like him even more.
It's
He's
kind of French,
one.
but we can't do that. You already put him in number 3. Well, right, is it because Smurfs are blue? Is that why?
Oh. Yes, exactly. It's just like a perfect crossover event. I don't really like French though, so never mind. Okay, 3 is fine.
Well, that's aggressive. All right,
we love our French audience.
Yes,
you're
French. I don't like the language. The people, I'm sure, are great.
Been to France multiple times is awesome.
Big
all
flex.
Right, Drew.
All right,
your number 3.
My number 3, Mando. Mando's my number 3. He's amazing. I defended him already once this episode. I don't feel like I need to do it again. He's awesome. He would be lower, but there's a couple other ones that took his spot. So, but yes, I love Mando. I think he's one of the top bounty hunters in the galaxy, and he's awesome. I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said already about him, but I already defended him once.
Watch The Mandalorian, and there you go. That's
well, you should obviously. Yeah. Like if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't watched The Mandalorian, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's like the best Disney.
Yeah, just watch it. Yeah,
it's like one of the best Disney things that they've put out for sure. Like especially season 1.
Yeah,
season 1. Even season 2 is really, really good. With that end with Luke coming out, like that was like an amazing part. Oh, sorry, my bad, my bad. I mean, come on, you have to watch.
If you're listening to Empire Radio, we're all spoilers here, so you.
True.
Have you seen the clip where they put "I Need a Hero"? The song "I Need a Hero" over that.
Oh
scene?
yes, that's awesome. But yeah, go watch The Mandalorian if you haven't. But also, yeah, his character is just awesome, and it's kind of there's so much to say. You can I could spend an hour talking about him if I wanted to, which we have. So go check out our original podcast, the Mandalorian podcast.
Excellent segue.
And go listen to season 1 of that, and then come back and listen to season 2 over here on Empire Radio. But you can also listen to Andrew's original of what he thought.
Oh gosh,
the soundtrack and theme of The Mandalorian would have sounded like.
How wrong I was about that.
But I still love that intro. I also don't. We need to find that and put it on one of these episodes, just for fun.
Yep.
Should have done it for this intro, honestly.
You know what, Drew? You know what the great thing is about a podcast? Like, speaking of the Mandalorian podcast, like, you know what the great thing is about it? You can listen to it anytime.
True.
So you can listen to it warm, or you can listen to it cold.
True.
That was good.
True. But
you love that, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah hasn't gone yet.
You did.
So, Jeremiah, what's your number 3 before Andrew segues?
Well, I think my number 3, I might be the only one with this person on their list. Maybe Grace has this person. I don't know. And this person was actually my number 5 until I was looking her up.
I know.
I know who it is.
When I learned some new things about her that I didn't know about until the other day, and so I put her at number 3.
Okay.
Aura Singh.
I was literally about to say you're going to sing for us. But...
So, I always think of her as like a mysterious character, even though we get some information and see her in Clone Wars. Like, she's on Tatooine in episode 1, watching the pod race. This little seer on the cliff, watching over, like, who's that guy or girl, I should say. And then, like, we get introduced to her in the Clone Wars. We get some stuff, and then, like, in the Han Solo movie, we find out that Beckett is the one that killed her. I'm like, oh, there's more mystery. So there's like all this mystery. But then I was looking her up on Wikipedia, and apparently she was a Jedi Padawan who left the Jedi Order.
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool.
But so, is that canon?
It is canon. There is a 2014 or 2015 like Star Wars reference book that Disney published, and it says in there that she is
Star Wars reference book.
It's like Jedi versus Sith or Jedi and Sith or something like that. And
they've got to stop doing that.
And why?
They'll release this book that like 10% of the Star Wars fans will actually read, and then they'll put something like that in it, and you're like,
oh yeah, it's called the High Republic.
What?
You know how many of those you don't understand, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's like a big deal.
Well, sure, but
that's a different, completely different. Not even.
It's like the first canon appearance of Plagueis is in one of those books.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you don't really see much of him, but he's there. Like you got the hood and the eyes, and like it's clearly what they modeled his character off of in the Acolyte. So, but they do that all the time.
But anyway.
I'm sorry.
So I think it's cool because it just adds to the mystery of her story that I think of her as, and it's like, well, what happened? Like if they ever do like Tales of Bounty Hunters or something like that.
I know how she got her antenna.
True.
Her antenna? Oh,
she wasn't born, dude. She was not born.
Okay, I forgot she had antenna. I'm not saying she was born with it. It's not Maybelline. Okay, like I get it.
I have the figure right here, and yeah, she has.
But I also think she looks cool. Also, like she has like a shaved head, but like she has that gigantic horse tail hanging out. Like it's pretty cool. Like
cool enough that you would want to do that hairstyle.
No, definitely not.
You're kind of already there. You just need to grow the top out.
I'm not even close.
You just got to grow the top out. You know.
No. So I don't know. I just think it'd be cool if we got like a Tales of Bounty Hunters
ponytails of the bounty
to see
hunters.
her like go from being a Jedi Padawan to why she leaves and becomes a bounty hunter, and then see like her death with Beckett. I think
that would actually be really cool.
Didn't he like push her off a cliff or something like that? Is that how?
I think that's what they said. Yeah,
something like that. But
yeah.
No body. Sounds like she's still alive.
Pretty.
That's the
we'll
rule
see her in the second Solo movie.
That's not going to come out.
If only though, I would legit love that.
Oh, I just want a mall show instead. But
sorry, dude.
Crimson Dawn show.
I'm sorry.
We'll just get other things that we don't want instead.
All right, moving on.
Jeremiah said that's another episode.
All right, we're getting up to the top. Number 2.
Ooh.
Yep.
So this is where it starts. It's like for some people, number 2 is really like your hardest one, but I think for Andrew, this was an easy number 2 or at least his number 1 was easy. But what's your number 2? Andrew?
Actually,
do you know what my list is?
I'm pretty sure I know your number 1, unless it's like an EU character.
What is my number 1?
I'm not going to
guess.
We're not there yet.
Okay, well, this might throw you for a loop because my number 2 is Cad Bane.
Oh, never mind.
There it is. My number 2 is Cad Bane. Dude, what a guy. What a guy. Am I right? Like, I mean, maybe this is because they wrote his character this way, but we get arguably the most out of any other bounty hunter with him, especially him in action and him going up against Jedi, which is no easy task.
Yep.
And he's incredibly skilled. He's got so much swag. Just like he just exudes that type of. I mean, he's got the hat, he's got the coat, he's got the old gunslinger type blaster setup. Yeah, the voice. I love his voice. I just like he was okay when we were doing the blind ranking. I don't remember what I said exactly, but I'm pretty sure I straight up said he was going to be my number 1, and I think you guys thought I was joking. And I was like, he's really literally going to be my number 1 pick. And then I changed it last minute, but he was almost my number 1 pick. But then I thought about something from the EU and I was like, oh there you go.
Gross.
Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry. We get more about bounty hunters in we kind of do. Anyways, that's not the point. Cad Bane is he's just so freaking cool. Like, the word he's got, I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. He's got Riz, man.
Oh no,
he does.
Right.
Come on,
moving on.
Come on, he does.
Can I jump over Grace?
He's smooth.
What?
He's
no.
Well, because my number 2, you probably already know it. So can I just?
What?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
jump over me.
No.
First.
Okay, no, go ahead.
I didn't when I had IG-11, I didn't jump in and be like, hey, I might as well just tell you what my number 4 is.
But you didn't have the same number 4s. Theirs was number 5 was IG-11. Our number 4s were the same, Andrew. Or Jeremiah.
Yeah, but when
that's
who had him at number
I am
5?
confused.
Yeah,
I think
me too.
Grace should.
Okay, whatever. Grace, go ahead.
Are you done, Andrew? I feel like you were.
Yeah,
still
I'm
going.
done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, Jeremiah 100% completely correctly profiled me because my number 2 is Aura Singh.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I felt like I wanted to pick some sort of female bounty hunter for my list, and I was like looking through the options, and I'm just not super into Fennec, so didn't want to pick her. Thought about Ventress, but like I don't know, I felt like her career as a bounty hunter, it existed, but it's a bit questionable, so I didn't go with her. But I was recently rewatching Phantom Menace, and so she was like in my mind, and I remembered that she was in the Clone Wars, and I had a similar experience to Jeremiah where I went to the Wikipedia and I was like, what? She was a Force-sensitive former Jedi Padawan. We have no explanation about what happened. So yeah,
that's so cool.
It's so cool, and I think that's a really easy thing for them to put in a book or like an animated short or something, like a good story. They already have the animation model. Like, how hard would it be?
That's valid. That's true.
Fair.
And according to Wikipedia, she had a romantic fling with Hondo Ohnaka. So I feel like that's juicy.
Yeah. I think that's a thing. Yeah, I remember that now.
Let's go. See,
Hondo Ohnaka.
Dude,
who has more Riz, Hondo or Ohnaka?
Hondo.
No. They're like opposite ends of the spectrum, but
they are.
Like
no, Cad Bane.
It's like Cad Bane is the guy your girlfriend says do not worry about, and then Hondo is the dad. Uncle.
What?
He's like a daddy character. Like he's just like an older character guy.
What?
It's a little different. Okay.
Anyways, so Jeremiah, didn't you throw shade at me for liking Hondo so much in the blind ranking?
No, that was
me.
That was him.
Because I put him at 2, Hondo.
And then Drew, but I'm gonna put him at 4, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
and like,
I'm not a huge Hondo fan like everyone else is.
You're not? Wait, what do you have against Hondo?
He's just okay to me. I don't know. I don't have like a love attachment to.
But
his
you
character.
like Dex?
Dex is the best. What?
No, they're literally
great.
They're like
when are we getting more Dex? I want a Dex spinoff. Yes.
Thank you.
All set in the diner. Just him and the robot waitress.
Like a sitcom. So they have the same set every week, you know?
Yes, please.
We just get a rotating cast of characters from
people coming
underworld. Yeah.
And just for Drew, it's one of them's Hondo.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or you know what would be really funny if you get Jack Black's character walks in with Lizzo.
Oh God!
I don't want to ever see them again.
That would be hilarious. Okay, but wouldn't that be a funny episode? Oh
no. No.
All right, y'all haters.
All right,
whatever.
Grace, anything else about Aura Singh?
Let's see. There was one other thing. Oh yeah, I felt like this was worth noting. The character of Aura Singh was first conceived in a sketch labeled Babe Fett by Lucasfilm's Doug Chang. She was designed as a result of the fact that George Lucas wanted there to be more characters filling out the pod racing sequence. And in the original movie, she was played by a model, which is, I think, why the character attracted so much attention. But we got a great backstory as a result.
They did position her in a way that drew attention to her.
So she was created by Doug Chang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a legend. I follow him on Instagram, and every once in a while he'll post a drawing, and I'm like, there it is.
Babe Fett, there it is.
No, not that, but it's always a random, it'll be like a random ship or something, and I'll be like, that looks vaguely familiar, and then you read the comments, and it's like this was the original concept art for the Razor Crest, but it doesn't look anything like it anymore, but like all of the initial vibes there, he has so much impact on Star Wars. It's wild.
Yeah.
And he's like really high up now, I'm pretty sure, in Lucasfilm.
Oh really? Yeah, he's been up there for a while, so.
Yeah.
But Grace,
yes,
I've always said this on the podcast, but I think that if they were going to cast her, like, his character in live action, that Cara Delevingne should play her.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to Google her.
I think you know who.
I feel like she's too short.
No, but she's like skinny and where it makes her look taller than she really is.
She's got a similar facial structure.
She has the facial structure for sure. Yeah.
I think that they could pull her off with Cara Delevingne. So Dave Filoni,
instead of the original.
Go call Cara for me.
Great. We're here for it. We're ready.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
No, you know who she is if you were to.
If you saw her, you'd know.
That's fair. I'm bad with names, so. Okay. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
We don't know what it is, but what's yours?
My number 2 is Cad Bane.
No one saw that coming.
Yeah, I know. Surprise! I should have swapped it last second just to throw you guys off. But yeah, Cad Bane is the best. I'm pretty sure.
Apparently not.
He's number 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He is the first loser.
Okay, chill, guys. I at one point, I'm pretty sure at some point he'll be on my arm in a tattoo form of some point, some way. Like, I really like his character. I think it's really dope. And then there's parts of his character though that's a little sketchy. I don't know how he kidnaps kids a couple times in Star Wars, and it's a little. Probably shouldn't encourage that, but whatever. We'll look past it because he's just so cool. His hat, everything about him, how he didn't die in Boba, and everyone still thinks he is, but he is not. Like, that whole thing is really cool. How they just kept him going.
I love how he just goes, yeah, he kidnapped kids, but we'll look past it because of his hat. That's really cool.
I mean, come on. And like, you know that his character was designed by Dave Filoni. Because like, if Dave Filoni was what Dave Filoni wants to be in real life, that would, in Star Wars, instead of who he actually is, because he's just a pilot.
I don't know.
I feel like if Dave Filoni was a little skinnier, he would want to play Cad Bane in real life. Let's be real.
I agree.
No, I think you want to play a wolf in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, if he had a real choice, he wanted to be a dog, but yeah, that's fair. But I'm just saying, like, his design and what his character and the voice and stuff was Dave Filoni. Like, I want to put a cowboy in this show, and like that's how he did it. But he did it in such a way that feels natural. It doesn't feel like a cowboy in Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars is also a cowboy show. You know what I mean? Like, it has a different feel. He doesn't feel out of place at all in Star Wars. And like, even with some people's first view of him is in the Book of Boba. Like, we got to remember that, because not everyone watched Clone Wars, like, or like Rebels or whatever. Like, their first viewing of Cad Bane is in the Book of Boba. And even the way he was coming up in like the sunrise or the sunset, you can see him in the distance slowly walking. You knew it was him. Well, at least we did. But some people like didn't. I feel like they did it so well though, it fit. And like you said, Grace, earlier in this episode, like his transition from cartoon to live action was probably the best version of that. In my opinion, I think it's even better than the Ahsoka, personally.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, I feel like the cartoon Ahsoka looks a little bit different than the live action Ahsoka. Like, it works. It fits.
A cartoon.
Okay. All right. You know what I mean, though? Like, it works for sure. Like, Ahsoka works, but like, not as, I feel like Cad Bane worked way better. And I feel like there's like, he's one of those characters that just fit so well. So.
Why do we think that Cad Bane works so well in that transition? Because all the same issues that are there for, a Cad Bane are also there for an Ahsoka or a Hera, but they look a little bit more off.
I think, well, Who wants to go first?
I was just gonna say Cad Bane, I feel like, is the perfect character to bring in life because he's simple enough that you don't have to do any crazy like main body prosthetics or anything like that. Like it's very humanoid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't have to deal with the face of a human. Like Hera, for example, other than the Leku, relatively human, like same thing with Ahsoka. But Cad Bane, I feel like he's a little bit further removed from that uncanny valley of being super close to being human, where I don't know. I feel like as a costumer, that would be a really, really good combination to work with because it's like you don't have to worry about a human face.
Yeah.
You got a big hat. So that's going to cover a lot of it, and then the rest of it is like he doesn't have, 4 arms. We're not dealing with like a Dex or like freaking Goro for Mortal Kombat or, who would another crazier character be in live action? And I also feel like his facial design is like it's also simpler than like a Weequay or like a Trandoshan.
Yeah.
So it's like this perfect in-between point of like, it's just different enough that you're not going to associate it with a human or being too close to being human.
Yeah.
But it's not so complicated that it looks like a puppet or like a person in a suit.
Yeah. Or like totally CGI.
The cartoon Clone Wars Cad Bane, his hat was way bigger. Like it was massive.
Big hat. Yeah.
And then his face was a lot slimmer. But like the way they portrayed him in live action, like they kind of slimmed it down and make it look more realistic to what we would visually see a cowboy. I feel like that's what made it not like you didn't like who is that guy? That guy doesn't look like him. Like truthfully, like the Grand Inquisitor. That's a good example. Like his character doesn't look anything really like the original, and they could have done it. It wouldn't have been really that hard to do.
They literally did it in episode 3 with the Utapaulians.
Yes. So like they just chose not to do it to like, I don't know, cut budget. I don't know. Like maybe
who knows at this point?
Hayden was too expensive. So they're like, all right, let's just cut this guy's head off instead. Like, I don't know. But like, so it was different enough where like the diehards like us, we were like, oh, his head's a little smaller, but it still fit really, really well in live action where it didn't really take you out of that moment at all. And his eyes, I think the biggest thing too is like they got his eyes perfectly. Like they didn't look like human eyes. Like they looked like an alien.
His mouth,
his teeth were the biggest thing.
And his mouth, like he had a really good range of motion in being able to emote with his mouth. And I think that really helped sell it too.
Yeah,
because it is all practical. Like it's not any CGI in his face. So like,
wow.
I think that might be another reason too.
I think because it's such like a unique, it's similar to human. He just doesn't have a nose, but like it's an alien face it's different enough where it being actually just practical and a person's just moving their face like normal to like emote the face, like it actually goes through the prosthetics. So like it's more realistic rather than like some over the top alien species where they have just a human mouth in there, but like it doesn't move like a normal face or how a real alien would actually move their face if you had a real alien. So I think that helps too.
Yeah, I think it's more or less like the practicality of how it looks still like an alien, but it looks like it could happen. Like Ahsoka, like is Ahsoka. It looks like Ahsoka, but then it also kind of looks like the actor. Like you can see the actor through the makeup. Truthfully, you know what I mean? And like, but with Cad Bane, you don't know who that actor is. Like if you look at him, you wouldn't know that.
You can't even look him up. No one knows.
Wait, really? Okay,
no, I'm joking.
Was that a nose joke?
No, but that. We were this close to greatness.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, well.
Fun fact, right. Speaking of actors, Corey Burton, who does the voice of Cad Bane, also voiced Dooku in the Clone Wars.
Whoa.
And Tales of the Jedi. Yeah. All of Dooku, his animated appearances, he voiced Dooku. He also voices Zeus in all of the God of War games, if you've played those.
Oh.
And in Kingdom Hearts 3, which was a banger.
As who?
Zeus.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, he does a lot of Zeus characters.
He's a Zeusy.
He was in Crash Bandicoot. Oh. He plays the main bad guy with the big head.
Nitro.
Yes,
of course
that's his name.
Man.
He plays Gobi in Rebels. Gobi Glee.
Gobi.
Who's that?
I don't remember, but it sounds really familiar.
Gobi.
Yeah.
He has a very, very long and very successful voice acting career. I'm looking at IMDb right now. He was in Ben 10.
Who played him in live action?
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
Oh, Gobi is Hera's father.
No, he's not.
What?
Cham Syndulla is Hera's father.
Oh yeah.
Gobi is
okay. The picture that popped up on Google had him, and then when you click on Wikipedia, it's the blue guy. The blue Twi'lek.
Let me see. Google
failed me for that opening.
For the last time, Jeremiah's in there force choking Google. So same voice, by the way.
Oh, so he did the voice acting.
He did the voice.
Oh.
Dorian Kingi.
Oh yeah, that guy. Solid dude.
All right.
Dorian.
Anything else, Drew?
No.
Jeremiah said, "Are you done?"
Yes.
Can we move on?
Y'all kept going.
All right. My number 2 is Embo.
Hey,
no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
When I was looking through those lists earlier, I was like, Embo's going to be on everyone's list. I feel like.
So, yes, he has his hat, Captain America hat, basically. It defies the laws of physics, as Spider-Man would say, and he uses it a lot. And then Grace, you were the one that had Embo on your list, right?
Mm-hmm.
You forgot to mention his dog.
I didn't know about the dog.
Yeah, he's with them the whole time in all the episodes.
It must not be that memorable.
Yeah, I have no. What is this? Wow, it looks like a dog.
Yeah, it's a space dog, and it's Marok, the same name as the Inquisitor guy from Ahsoka.
LOL.
No way.
So like he's like whenever he loses his hat or whatever because it doesn't boomerang back, like the dog at the end of the fight will run up to him with the hat, like.
Good boy.
So when he's snowboarding down the mountain, the dog is chasing behind him and all that stuff.
He doesn't let the dog ride.
No.
Or he doesn't have a little
it's not
dog
that big
hat.
Of a hat.
You can't.
He should have a hat for the dog too.
Yeah.
The
dog might have gotten cold.
So he doesn't have to have a partner on the hat with him.
I see.
But it would be cooler if the dog had one too and he could sled.
Nah, because
that's too cartoony. Focus.
This is real life, okay? Let's go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, he's just a cool guy. I just think that he had a cool fighting style just because he used the hat like Captain America uses a shield.
Reminds me of Raiden.
I don't know.
From Mortal Kombat?
I can see that. Yeah.
He does that. He does a move where he like spins forward. I thought at one point it does. I'm sorry. Keep going.
And so then it's that, having a dog as your partner in crime is pretty cool because dogs are the best animal on the face of the planet.
Facts.
I don't write the rules. I just follow them.
Sorry, Andrew.
I just think that whole like snowboarding scene is just a really cool thing because at one point he's going and he's just doing it backwards. Right? He's not even looking behind him. He's just and he's trying to fight Anakin while Anakin's trying to defend Padme.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the only bounty hunters to like go toe to toe with Anakin and hold his own pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I feel like with Embo to reach such a great level of skill, you almost wonder like if he has help, like if it's some of it is his skill, but some of it is maybe something a little bit extra.
Yeah,
like a boost of energy, like a maybe a coffee.
Or T.
Or T. You know, we don't discriminate here.
That's fair.
But he has like maybe not. It's not canon. We haven't confirmed it yet. But
it's funny that you mentioned that.
Really?
Once again, coincidentally,
whoa,
our sponsor for tonight is
way.
Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh man!
Whoa.
So if you are a bounty hunter and you have a cool dog and a cool Captain America hat, and you like snowboarding,
well then Minnesota's the place for you.
Actually, though,
yeah.
Except for last winter when we had like no snow.
Yeah, that's true. Snowboarding was not good, but anyways.
But if that's you tonight and you want a discount on some galactic coffee,
greatness,
I was trying
graceness.
Have a listen to our commercial from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. Cool. Well, before we get into our number ones, we should have some honorable mentions that we don't have on our list. And, maybe we'll accidentally say someone else's number one that's on their list, but
that's right.
Throw them out. Anyone can go. Random ones.
Imbo was one of mine. Ironically,
Imbo would be one of mine too.
Yeah, Imbo is cool. Bosk. Bosk was really cool. Bosk was like pretty much second to Boba Fett for his entire life in the EU, which is both really cool and also really sad because he never bests him. And it's like a whole thing where Bosk hates Boba Fett and like wants to kill him, wants to take his spot as the number one bounty hunter and die. He just never does it. He never really does it. But he's really good in his own right. And then my other one was Ventress. But I feel again, I agree with what Grace said. Like her career was just it was a thing. But
and, we only really see it in the book too. I don't think we really saw it in Clone Wars really. So
no,
except when she meets up with Ahsoka, I guess she's technically a bounty hunter at that point, right?
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah,
but I feel like she should have been more.
In the book, it goes really detailed into her bounty hunter career.
Yeah, but I feel like she should have been one of the best as a Force user. But there were other plans for her character.
Yeah. Well, that makes you think though. Was what's her name pretty good Force user? Because she was a former Jedi.
Or not if
Beckett killed her.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
It wouldn't have happened to Ventress. That's what I'm saying. But Ventress was like stupidly powerful and was really well trained. So
well, she fell. So who knows if she actually died? Come on.
But that's actually a good point. Like I feel like a Jedi couldn't get killed by getting pushed off a cliff. Like they should be able to stop the fall with the Force.
Unless she
I mean, if Obi-Wan can get blasted off of a wall on top of a lizard and fall what looked like freaking 300, 400 feet into a pool of water and survive.
Yeah, but he was a council member though, so he's.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
that's fair. But if Maul can get cut in half and then drop down a chute and still build legs and survive, like I'm pretty sure she could have fell and be fine.
He was really angry though, and that's what sustained him.
Yep. Sure. But Dengar, just because he looks pretty cool. Like in episode 5, this guy wrapped in toilet paper. Like, what's his deal?
Well, he used to call in too.
Did
so
you know he's a
cool.
Corellian? He's a human.
Really?
Corellia, yeah. Huh. Well, okay. In the EU, I have to preface that he plays a really big role in the War of the Bounty Hunters trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Who's the main bounty hunter in that?
Boba Fett, but he's arguably like the other main character, but he's kind of like a B. Yeah, he's a second. I mean, the books, there's 2 timelines happening simultaneously in those books where it's like just after Return of the Jedi, shortly after Return of the Jedi, and then was it during Empire Strikes Back? It was like a then and now thing, or no? It would. Is it shortly after Return of the Jedi, and then even farther? I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember.
But I think it was after Return of the Jedi.
There's timelines, and he's kind of a main character in one, and he is not the main character in the other. So,
gotcha.
Anyways, it's really good though.
Black Casantan.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he's also my honorable mention.
His entrance in the Book of Boba Fett was one of the coolest scenes.
That was pretty dope.
It's like the meme, like, it's like the first half is like a professionally drawn artist of like the backside of a horse, and then like the second half is just like a pencil drawing. That's how I felt he was in Book of Boba Fett. Like his entrance was so cool, sweet. And then
his character was kind of like, I
was like, eh.
but yeah, I know in the comics he's pretty cool and pretty like respected, and so that's why they brought him in. But yeah, you're right. Like Jeremiah, like when he walked in, I was like, we're like, what is happening? Who is this? And it was pretty dope. I feel like if anything, Book of Boba did well was give people entrances. We got Cad Bane, we got Black Casantan, we got Mando again. Like those 3 entrances when Mando came through that door with all the meat hanging, and he cut the guy in half on the table, and it was like super intense. Like they're really good at throwing entrances on there.
You can't forget the Hutt siblings that came in.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
And like
that was pretty intense.
Yep, Ahsoka.
R2.
Oh, I forgot they were in that too.
Yeah.
What the heck were we doing?
Crazy.
I forgot R2's in that.
Any more honorable mentions before we jump into our number ones?
I'm forgetting her name right now at the top of my head.
Another her?
Yeah, the main girl with Boba the whole time.
Fennec.
Fennec.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like she's good, but not like she is never fully realized. Like
she's
honestly, she was really underutilized. Yeah.
But in the Bad Batch, and like I feel like she's better in the Bad Batch, and especially the last season.
That's like 25 years younger, so she's a little more agile.
Yeah, I really I enjoyed her, especially this last season of the Bad Batch. I really enjoyed her character and what she brought to the table in that episode. But yeah, you're right. I mean, she was a side character to Boba. So it kind of worked, kind of didn't. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's fine. She could just be cooler. So maybe they'll make her cooler.
Cool.
You don't like her outfit's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I've seen some good cosplays of it too, but
yeah, not your thing. Okay.
All right.
Not blue.
Fun. You could do a blue version. All right, moving on. Number ones. Andrew, your number one bounty hunter is?
Prepare to roll your eyes, Jeremiah. Boba Fett.
Oh.
Specifically, there is a big difference. There's a huge difference between the two of these, and it's one of the reasons why Book of Boba Fett kind of angered me the way that it did, because Boba Fett, I feel like in pop culture, is kind of touted as like the best bounty hunter of them all, right? He's like the face of bounty hunting in Star Wars.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Huh?
Yeah, just keep going.
But like in canon, I don't think his reputation totally meets that standard. I don't think it fully, especially in the Book of Boba Fett. Like, but in the expanded universe, he is by far, by a long shot, the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. Like, especially in the War of the Bounty Hunters trilogy, like, they talk about, you get so much more about him and like how he's like literally never let a bounty get away. He's armed to the teeth, and like his starship has like its own defense systems and like a self-destruct system, and it's like got this super high tech. Like, so he's known as a character in the expanded universe as he's like one of the richest bounty hunters of all time, but like he doesn't live like he's not a flashy liver.
Gotcha.
He just puts all of his money back into bounty hunting. So like in the expanded universe, his starship is like the best, top of the line. It was like custom designed by Kuwait Drive Yards and like completely modified with all of these extra things.
Is still in the expanded universe?
Yeah.
Is it still Slave 1?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just not saying it.
Okay.
Because it, but
say it.
but like he literally has like an undefeated record. His reputation is so crazy that like a lot of people don't want to cross him just because he is who he is. Like, they won't even try. Like,
which makes sense why in like episode 5 and 6 it's so, and like everyone knows who Boba Fett is already.
Yeah,
like, we know.
And
that's
like
Boba.
he again in expanded universe survives the Sarlacc and like claws his way out of the Sarlacc. He should have died. He in those books he really should have died, but he like has such a strong will to live and to keep going that he survives and like comes back from the brink of death. He's just like an expert fighter. He's an expert marksman. Like he is the epitome of everything a bounty hunter should be in the expanded universe. Now, not in every appearance, because like obviously there's comics where he's like supposed to lose to Han Solo or someone because he's playing the role of the villain, but like in the vast majority of the stories he's undefeated. And he's the person that when he's after you there's just no hope. Like and his character is very like, we're gonna do it my way and there's no other way. Like there's so many moments like that in the books where he's like, I don't never let a bounty go. I never let anyone out of this cage when they're in my ship. Like it's just set in stone. He is the way he is. He doesn't lose. Like he's really cool.
Well, technically he did get Han.
Yeah.
Technically we didn't see him lose. So to your point.
But also in EU, he's the one that killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, right?
Interesting.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
with his flamethrower.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's pretty dark. Well,
really dark.
That got intense really quick.
Yeah.
Well, they're bounty hunter.
It's okay. Luke didn't even care. He's like,
he had no emotional reaction to
Dude, it was like the worst deaths of all time.
But I will say, Drew, if you really want a good Boba Fett story,
I do.
You should read those. Also, I've totally forgot to mention this. He has a friend named Daharin, and I think I talked about him before on the podcast, but most of his body has been turned into like an artillery cannon, and his head, no joke at all, his head is a cannon. And
it's like an anime character.
Yeah, and he comes up in those books, and the whole time I'm reading those books, I'm like, this shouldn't work. This really shouldn't work. But they keep describing it as it's like this normal thing.
Okay.
It's like that one time when we read the High Republic book and Jeremiah didn't realize that character was a literal rock.
All right, we're moving on.
You didn't realize that?
You did the breakdown.
That was a half-hour conversation that you were a part of.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Remember that? Yeah.
I listened to that episode. It was funny.
Y'all,
we gotta like tell. No,
that's been a while though, hasn't it?
It's a rock. Yeah, that was the first book.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. I'm so sorry.
That was the third book.
Third book? Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
I actually do think I remember that now that you're saying it.
Because Jeremiah pulled it up, and then he's like, what? It was awesome. Good times.
It's actually
literally
so crazy
one
that character
sentence
exists.
that didn't register with me. That's it.
Yeah, the way that he would be like a one place, and then they would just gloss over him getting to another location, and you're like,
yes,
yeah, because I didn't realize he was a rock, so it made sense to me.
Your mind is just like
people walk over to places. That's like I do that. Everyone does that.
Or how he talks, right? He talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And pilots, I'm pretty sure too.
And
you're like, is he a telepathic?
That's just what people do.
Yeah,
and it's just a slab of rock.
I just thought he was like the Thing, like in Fantastic Four.
That's
like,
fair, actually.
That's just what I thought he was.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Grace, who is your
number one?
Your number one.
My number one is Mando.
Okay.
Respect. I like it.
This was the one that I felt positive would be number one. Just, I think, again, coming at it from my perspective of not being super into bounty hunters, I like that Mando is both pretty powerful. We've talked about some of his flaws, but like he gets a lot done in The Mandalorian. I think he really held his own when he went up against Ahsoka, for instance, and that was cool. And we only see him get better as he gets more used to working with Grogu and fighting the Empire and Force users and everything like that. So I appreciate that, and I like his character and the character development we get in the show. So I think I connect to him somewhat emotionally, though. You know, it's hard with the helmet on all the time, but I still appreciate him. I like Pedro Pascal. I like the guys who are doing the physical performance. And yeah, I feel like he's a bounty hunter with some ethics. He's doing his job. He's still capturing people, but you know, he sees Grogu and he puts it all aside and decides that like maybe kidnapping children is not something that he wants to do.
Unlike Cad Bane. That's fair.
Just bringing it back. Yeah.
That's true.
So that's all. Nothing more really.
That's a good question. Dude, have we talked about this? Like what?
Kidnapping children? We've covered that.
No, not that part. But why you would have thought that we would have saw Cad Bane try to get Grogu.
What is he doing in the book? Was he not trying to get Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett?
No, he was just hired by the Pikes to protect the spice trading.
The spice trading. But like, wouldn't you guys think that he would be one of those bounty hunters that are trying to get Grogu, considering everyone in the galaxy was trying to get Grogu?
Unless he's a long-term contract with the Pikes at the time.
Possibly.
True. Maybe he's like, dang it.
I mean, I
signed this contract, but I know I can make more money with this guy.
Well, maybe not, though. You never know.
I think Grogu is pretty expensive.
But I will say Cad Bane doesn't strike me as the person to drop out of a contract for more money. He seems like he does have at least that.
No, that's true. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, surprised we didn't see him earlier. But
all right, Drew.
It was a job also where a lot of bounty hunters were getting killed, so maybe he just thought it was too risky.
That too.
Cad Bane, though.
And it was also the jobs were going to the Bounty Hunters Guild, and maybe he's just not part of it.
He's probably not part of a guild.
He just doesn't.
He's a lone ranger.
Not a union member.
Doesn't strike me as that type of person.
No, definitely not. Not a union guy for sure. All right,
Drew. We're going to be super surprised on what your number one is, but go ahead.
All right, my number one. Boba Fett.
Wow. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
I mean, from Andrew's perspective, is amazing, and I agree with all of that. And I think we get a lot of that in the slight little bit that we see of him in episode 5 and 6. I think from what we got of him and how little he talked, but how powerful his character was on screen, I think it shows you how good he was as a bounty hunter. And I think that's what's so captivating about his character and how real his character is that we're able to see how powerful he was by him not saying anything. And I think in the original version of Boba Fett, besides his original death and how Han pretty much just poked him in the back and he died, besides that part, like episode 5 Boba was the coolest character growing up as a kid, and still, in my opinion, the coolest character in Star Wars overall. Like, I really love his look. His mysteriousness back then was like amazing. And then the Book of Boba, for sure, it's a different version of where Boba Fett character went. I think there's parts of that show that shows his character being really strong and really intense. Then there's also parts of the show that I didn't really like, of his character being like the way he was soft. And like my biggest pet peeve, and I've said
Like
this
a bantha?
before, yeah, but like my biggest pet peeve is like I hated how often that dude took his helmet off. It didn't make any sense at all to me, but whatever. I just think that was like one of my biggest gripes about the Book of Boba Fett, is because he always kept taking it off when everyone knew who Boba Fett was by his helmet, not by his face. Like, we didn't know Boba Fett by his face and scars. We knew Boba Fett because he had that helmet on with the dent. Like, everyone knew that was Boba. People didn't know Boba because he took his helmet off. And I know like that was probably because in his contract he wanted his helmet off for the actor and he wanted to show his face more. But I just think that was a pretty, like, you can do that work and that job with your helmet on like Mando does in the first season of
yeah,
the Mandalorian.
but he's on Tatooine though. That's like 120 degrees.
But
hot,
Boba's
dude.
always on Tatooine.
Yeah, but he's inside Jabba's palace where it's air conditioned, and but like, when
fair.
he's out in the streets, like,
I will say that same thing in those books. Dengar and one of the other side characters are two of the only people who have ever seen him without his helmet on.
Yeah.
So even in Legends, like, his true identity is a mystery. Yeah.
So I don't know. I love his character still. Like, and I don't like parts of it, but I understand the growth and the difference that they went with his character, and how like the same people changed his perspective of life at that point because he went through so much previously and stuff like that. And I also feel like his character in the Clone Wars as like young Boba was really, really cool. And seeing him, like, even in that moment, he was in charge of bounty hunters that one of them we just found out was a Jedi at one point, and she was listening to a kid tell her like what to do. Like, I think that's really cool to see that even back then he was growing up to become the bounty hunter that he was. And like, to my point too, like, Boba did end up getting Han at the end of the day. He still was able to figure out how to get Han Solo, which at that point was like the highest bounty in the galaxy at that point. So I don't know. I think his character is really cool. His ship's amazing. And then when we got to hear or not hear his explosions go off, I think his bombs,
seismic
charges are the coolest explosion of all time in Star Wars, hands down.
Dazdor in the Discord made a meme about how whenever you push your button and it's super loud, it's like listening to like I don't hear it coming, and then it just blows up everything in my ear. Like, okay, I'll turn that down in post.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I love his ship too. I think the design is super cool, and that was one thing in the Book of Boba that I loved. I think it was in Book of Boba, not Mando. Maybe it was. When we saw the inside of the cockpit of the Slave One, and we saw how the chair moved and rotated with the ship and stuff. When they like first walked in, they sat normally and then it rotated. I thought that was so cool and so attention to detail on that ship. Yeah. And I just love his ships, the coolest ship in Star Wars for sure. So yep, that's mine. You guys already knew it coming into this. Everyone did. I was almost gonna just swap him and Cad Bane just to throw everyone off, but then no, I couldn't do it.
All right, cool. Well, it's down to me for my last one, and my number one is Cad Bane.
Hey yo,
that's fair.
Yep, Definitely.
Did you not have Boba on your list?
No, I would never have him on my list.
Okay.
A guy that just stands there in episode 5 and then gets easily defeated in episode 6.
Say more.
Like, why would I waste my time with a guy that can't get it done? Like,
he gets it done.
And Han Solo is blind when he hits him. Like, it even makes it worse. Like,
not when he captured him the first time.
Yeah, but when he kills him, supposedly kills him.
When he gets his jetpack gets destroyed by Han, like, Han's blind and it was on accident. Like,
no, but Chewie told him how to do. Okay, I'm not getting into this.
No, Chewie was on the ground with a broken leg, bleeding to death during that whole scene. Like,
what?
Yeah, if you go look, the reason why Chewbacca is laying on the ground is because he got shot in the leg and he's bleeding.
Oh,
go watch it. That's why Chewbacca is not doing anything during that whole scene. He's just laying on the ground. But yes, Boba Fett's kind of lame.
Okay, it's not like you going.
But yes, Cad Bane.
Sorry, everyone's ears.
Yes, Cad Bane, just the coolest guy. The swag,
yeah, he's pretty dope.
The hat, pretty cool. His voice is great. I just love his like one-liners that he has. Like he like references things that we have no idea what he's talking about, but like all we know is like he just took a jab at this person, but we don't know what it meant. Like
yeah.
But he also has cool lines where like my favorite one is from season 1 of Bad Batch when has Omega and he's like, by hook or by crook, you're coming with me, little lady. And I'm like, that's like so Cad Bane.
Clip that.
Yep.
Clip it up.
But yeah, he's cool. Him showing up like in Bad Batch, like we didn't even expect him. Like Hunter and Omega's come over the thing and he's just there and all the clones are dead and he's just there and it just kind of like pans up. That was super cool. And it was like over the top, like Western music playing. That is super cool. And then his entrance in the Book of Boba Fett, such an amazing thing. His portrayal of being in live action was just spot on, perfect. And it's so hard to be cooler than Cad Bane. So, yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. I would wear it.
All right. That's top 5.
He's very cool, even if we don't endorse his child.
Yes.
Which, the more we talk about it, the more I just feel like his entire career was kidnapping children. He had those. He tried to kidnap Ahsoka. He tried to kidnap the Force-sensitive children in the Clone Wars. Then Omega.
He only goes after Force-sensitive children, like baby children. Okay. Like now,
not regular children, baby children.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying we don't see him other than Omega. Him go after like older kids. He's always like
that's true.
Baby children
that can't do babies that can't do anything.
Yeah.
Force
baby children.
They're Force sensitive. So
gotcha.
You can't just have some random people go after Force sensitive babies. You got to have the best of the best.
Okay.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, anything else on bounty hunters, everyone?
No, I don't think so. That we stretched that out.
Yep, this is like our longest. Usually, Drew and I just do top 5, and it's like with voicemail, it's like an hour long. So
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
this is a lot of fun.
Well, it's 2 more people, and
yep, a lot of fun discussion. But
yeah,
we still got everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Transition over.
It's voicemail time.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
You're welcome.
The angels sing.
We have 3 voicemails tonight.
All right.
First up, someone we haven't heard from in a little while, Grass Monkey from Discord. And I think was he in the chat a little bit? I can't remember, but
I don't think so.
He has a voicemail for us, so let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Grass Monkey. Been a while since I've sent in a voicemail. Found myself being pretty busy over the summer, so just catching up on all things Star Wars right now. I just wanted to share my favorite bounty hunter, Dirge. Thought he was a pretty cool character when I first saw him in the 2003 Clone Wars show. Second favorite would 100% be Boba Fett, though. Anyway, I just had a quick question for y'all. How have y'all been? Thanks, guys. Keep up the amazing work.
Yep.
I am so mad.
I was wondering if you were gonna. When I heard that voicemail earlier, I was like, I wonder if Andrew is gonna bring OG Clone Wars. So, Grace, have you ever watched the OG Clone Wars, like the 2D one before?
I've watched a couple episodes, but I've never watched it all the way through.
They're compilations. So there's 2 on YouTube, and they put them together like a movie.
And but I think most of them are on Disney Plus also.
I think it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, I've had it downloaded a couple times.
I don't think all of them are though. I might be wrong on that. But you can find
them
on
YouTube.
Okay.
But he's a character.
I feel like I let the EU down by not putting him on my list, but
probably.
Well, thank you, Grass Monkey. But he had a question for us, a very simple question that I don't think we've ever been asked. But how you guys doing? Okay.
That's it. That's all we got.
All right. How about this? One thing in the last month. Anything cool, fun, exciting? Doing good, doing bad?
By the way, they're all on Disney Plus. It's like 2 episodes of an hour and a half or hour and 10 minutes each.
Okay. No, I've been really busy, really busy. We just launched a new product at work, and
yeah, you did.
And it's been a madhouse. I was actually in San Francisco for 3 days last week in office, so that was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting. Saw Beetlejuice.
Cool. Is it good?
It's really good.
I haven't seen the first one, so
it's in my opinion, I like it more than the first one.
Oh,
okay.
But the thing with Beetlejuice is like, you either like it, you really like it, or it's like not your thing. So, but I really enjoyed it. It felt like the 80s again.
Like you remember those back in the day, huh?
Yeah, all the way back to the 80s when I was definitely alive. But no, it's just tired, but good. Can't complain. Just sold our car.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you not buy another one? I guess you don't need one, right?
Now we're footing it now.
Wow.
No cars at all?
No. We don't ever use it.
Don't need it. No.
Yeah, with the neighborhood that we live in is like super walkable, and then like I think we literally use it maybe once a week, or we used it like once a week, to the point where like we would fill up, which in LA is still like $80 or $90 or something like that, but it would last us like a solid month and a half.
Wow.
So,
and that was a nice car too.
Yeah. So it only had like 38,000 miles on it.
Whoa, geez, you got good money off that then, huh?
So if you need to go somewhere, you just Uber or take bus or something?
Just Uber. And I mean, a lot of the places that we like to go, like we can get there through public transportation, which is not completely desirable, but it's not terrible as long as you're not doing it super late at night. But yeah.
This makes me want to ask, when you were in San Francisco, did you try a Waymo?
No.
One of the self-driving cars? Yeah.
I haven't, but they're in LA.
Yeah, they're in LA too.
Yeah, so we're going to soon because we've been wanting to. But literally, I was waiting outside the office Tuesday morning when I got there, and one of my coworkers got out of a Waymo. Like it had dropped her off. So yeah.
Is the office space in the same place it used to be in like 2016? Is it the same building or is it different?
Different. So that's still our San Francisco storefront.
Okay.
But the office is in a different location now. But it used to be there in the same space, but
yeah,
it's different now.
When I visited, I went there.
Where is it in San Francisco? What part of the city?
It's on Valencia.
Okay.
So I'm not super familiar with San Francisco, but I know the office is in the Mission District. But I've only been there probably 3-4 times maybe. So, and it's like straight from the airport to the office, and then for the most part back to the airport. This is the first time that I stayed for more than a single day. And I stayed in Japantown, which was actually really, really nice.
Yeah,
really
that place is dope, dude.
Yeah, I stayed by that like shopping center that has all the Japanese stores in it. So it's a lot of fun. But I'm gonna shut up now. Anybody else?
Anyone? Grace, go.
No, I feel like he definitely was not asking how I'm doing. You guys
No,
go
it's
first.
fine.
No,
You're part of the team.
You're here. What are you talking about?
Okay. Well, I also busy. Had a lot going on this summer. Have been doing some fun traveling lately, which was nice. And then starting school in like 3 weeks now. So
It's so crazy. It's so late. I feel like everyone's already
it is
done.
crazy. We start and then it's Thanksgiving, which is nice, I guess, but also a scam.
Scam.
No, I'd rather just get it going. Like at this point, I'm like, what am I supposed to do in September? Like the weather's not like that great anymore. Like summer is over. I don't know. Everyone else is busy.
I don't know. The weather's pretty nice right now.
No, it is. It actually was lovely today, though. It's currently raining. But yeah, I don't know. Not looking forward to going back to Chicago. That's my current mentality. The West Coast is definitely better, as I guess Andrew knows.
It's the best. I mean, other than the constant threat of an earthquake
or fires.
Well, we don't really deal with fires in LA.
You're pretty close to the current one, though, aren't you?
Well, we do. I mean, we deal with the smoke, but we don't have fires though.
The current one pretty close to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little smoggy here, but like, I mean, like,
current fires, like, it's southern.
Listen, all I'm saying is like 99, 90,
you can't
93
outside, but it's all right.
Well, 93% of the time, their weather's like perfect.
That's true.
So, other than the threat of the big one, the constant threat of this earthquake, and maybe the homelessness, it's really great.
I think that okay.
I love it. Jeremiah, you should move.
Too. West Coast, best coast.
I will never move to California.
Never California. You would have to pay me so much money.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to move to California.
You could pay me. I mean,
like
Drew was like, no. You can pay me. You can
pay me. Steph would go in a heartbeat for sure. It's
never.
Just not. If I can't go outside and hunt or fish,
do you know how much? Bro, do you know how much outdoor stuff is in Northern California?
Doesn't involve hunting and fishing? Yeah, I do.
You can hunt and fish here.
Not easy.
You're allowed to own.
Okay, it doesn't have to be California, Oregon. I think we have a lot of hunting and fishing up in Oregon. You can be adjacent to California.
That's fair, but
with all the benefits.
The price is so expensive.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So expensive. I like my little tiny house that don't pay that much in mortgage.
Yeah.
Hang out with my friend Daddy Palps and go hunting. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty chill.
Dude, I feel like
go see him this weekend.
Drew, I feel like at some point in your future, you're gonna end up moving to like the Southeast.
If I move anywhere, it's probably gonna be like with your father-in-law. And just
that's what I figured. That's the time. That's what I figured.
If I'm gonna move anywhere, me and your father-in-law are gonna become best friends, and I'm just gonna go hunt. I'm gonna film him because you're not gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it. And
I told you that I'm going to Colorado in November, right?
To go elk hunting.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry, I'm not hunting.
No,
the only thing I'm shooting is video. You know what I'm saying?
True. But hopefully get some wolves on that too.
Dude, we need to get you down to Alabama.
No, I know. We've had these conversations.
Yeah. Jeremiah, how have you been?
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. We just had the Minnesota State Fair. And my work, we supply like 8 different stands out there. So during
I didn't even know that. That's cool.
That's pretty neat.
12
stupid
12 days or so we're super jam packed doing stuff. And so I think the item that won food item of the year is something that we made. So
which was what?
I believe it was those bacon wrapped little sausage bites.
Ooh.
Or something like that.
Oh really?
So we made the sausage for this company and they did whatever they wanted to do with it. But
nice.
But there's a bunch of stands out there that we supplied to. So,
do you go?
No.
Okay.
Too many people, too expensive.
It is a lot of people.
It's awesome.
It's the biggest state fair in the country.
It's
so
awesome.
Really?
Well, second, I think Dallas is bigger technically still. Texas.
Well, I think there's
its
like
length is bigger, but then the
amount of people is Minnesota, but like Texas, like the grounds of the fair is bigger or something like that.
And then Iowa's like a close third.
Here,
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah,
Iowa has a big state fair too, I believe.
It's huge.
Does the entire state come? Is that how
pretty
they do it?
much?
I feel like they. Oh well.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything's
Indiana
bigger.
has a state fair too. I used to go to that growing up.
Yeah, no, I went to the state fair. That was fun. I'm trying to think of one. I mean, my life's been a little crazy, as you guys heard before. So it's been a little stressful right now. But besides that, I went hunting 2 weeks ago. Yeah, with Daddy Pops. That was fun. And I'm going next weekend with him.
You know, duck hunting?
Yep.
Cool.
It was
Getting
dope.
over that fear of birds.
Yes. One kill at a time.
Oh,
that's all you gotta do. But yeah, no, so I'm gonna go with him next weekend is opener. So just doing that, getting ready for that stuff. Miles had his 3rd birthday. So that was really fun. One of our friends dressed up as Batman because he's really into Batman right now. So it was funny because he was opening presents. And then my brother-in-law turned on like the Batman theme song, and he's like, "Batman!" And then he came out of like the garage door and was like, "Which one of you guys is Miles?" And then Miles was like,
"Oh,"
he was like, "Me." He was like, so it was pretty cool. It was fun. He loved it. So,
but also, like as a kid, that's the only time Batman could come out of a garage door and you not be like, "Dude, what were you doing? What?"
And he ran back into the garage door. Yeah,
no, like
so, and like we had like a piano that was like a Batman logo too. So he was able to break that. He loved that, and all his cousins came, and then we had like a giant like blow up water slide. So they did that for like hours, and then the next morning he woke up and he was like, "Daddy, Batman came to my birthday." And I was like, "Yeah, he did. Was that your favorite part of your birthday?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool." So he loved it. It was fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So sweet.
Yeah, it was dope. So like he's like talking a lot now, which is kind of crazy. Like me and Steph still like daily. We're like he'll say a whole sentence all of a sudden. We're like, what the heck just happened to our baby? Like it's so weird to like.
You better watch out for Cad Bane.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy,
the force is strong.
Is Miles Force sensitive or not?
Definitely. It's that's fair. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty cool. Just like I have a 3-year-old. You guys.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Because I'm pretty sure I told you guys like on a podcast episode that we're having a kid, and now he's 3.
I think you told us after.
I didn't tell you live. No, I think it was before.
Yeah.
Can't even remember. That was long. That was
3 years ago.
3 years and 9 months, or 3 years and like 7 months ago, or something. You told us. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
all right. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Grass Monkey. Good to hear from you. Hope to hear from you again in the near future. But next up, we have a voicemail from our good friend, Will. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio. Will here. I have a very simple question. And you can see from the recent news where I'm going with this. What is your favorite Darth Vader moment?
So thank you, Will. So do we want to do a top 5 in a few weeks or something, or do we just want to?
No, let's.
No.
I really didn't know where that was going. I'm not gonna lie. For a second I thought he was gonna ask something related to the election or something. And I was like,
what are you voting for?
But then now I yeah, okay.
So Darth Vader moments. So the question is, does Anakin versus Obi-Wan Mustafar count? Because he has been knighted as.
No, it doesn't count because it's not.
Or is it not until he gets his?
It's the voice of Darth Vader moment. Come on.
Oh. Well, my favorite Darth Vader moment, he doesn't speak.
Well, true, but if he would have, it would have been.
So what moment is that then?
The hallway scene, Rogue One.
That's true.
Oh, Sam.
That's a good one.
Cinematography, the terror, the freaking lightsaber making. You saw that video, Jeremiah.
It up, and then
I was talking about the lightsaber adding a tone to the chords that the music was playing to make it more dynamic.
Not the part when
it's got it all. That too, but it's got it all.
I think
he talks right after that though, like in the next scene in the next movie.
Oh gosh! All right.
If you watch them back to back, like I do.
But that's 3 weeks between the movies, technically.
Oh, I thought that was the next scene.
No, because remember that the ship goes to hyperspace and they escape.
And it takes them 3 weeks to get them.
Yes. Yeah, to track them because the third droid in the ship that has the other protocol droid that's in there is actually a spy from the Empire, and that's how they track the ship. Do you not know this?
No. I thought it was like the next scene.
So you literally thought that Scarif and Tatooine were literally right next to each other?
No, I thought they jumped to hyperspace and they jumped with them.
But they didn't know where they were going. At this point, there was no way to track hyperspace.
Okay, am I just the craziest person?
Where did you learn this?
The internet. the third droid in the
Kat,
ship.
Am I the only one that doesn't know this right now? Or?
I didn't know it.
In episode 4, it is an Imperial droid that was undercover.
Is this canon?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does make sense, Jeremiah. Like it does make sense. I never really thought.
Okay,
about
thank
it
you,
like
chat.
Yeah.
You didn't know it either. Okay,
that's Nate. Sure. He's in like high school. He doesn't know. Like,
okay, chill.
Well, I mean, I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
I'm the EU guy. Like
that is a canon thing. That third droid.
Hold on.
Does it really take 3 weeks though? All right,
I believe it's like 3 weeks or whatever until they.
I swear, I always thought that they jumped and then they jumped.
Yeah, but how would they know where they go?
It's Vader. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then,
dude, Vader could do stuff through hyperspace in the freaking Thrawn novels.
But that's
what?
That's different because that's not the same. He had to know where they were going. He knew where he was going in the Thrawn novels. I'm fairly confident. But anyway, as you guys are looking up that, technically, because in my top 5 moments in Star Wars, one of the scenes has Vader. I guess I have to go with that one. It's Vader versus Ahsoka in Twilight of the Apprentice.
I like that one. Yeah.
But Shadow Warriors from episode 5 of season 1 of Ahsoka, like when it's Anakin versus Ahsoka in live action, like he's technically Vader, kind of, but I don't know if that counts. But I'll go with Twilight of the Apprentice.
I think
that's such a good one.
Okay, according to the Hollywood Reporter, who spoke with an anonymous on-set source in May of 2016, the two films are only separated by about 10 minutes.
See, that's what I thought.
That's not. No, I don't know. When was that written?
2016.
That was it. You said 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know because that droid. No.
Where is?
I thought it was okay. Either way, they tracked the ship because of that third droid.
Well, that might be true. I'm not.
But I thought it was.
I always thought it was right away.
I thought it was 3 weeks.
No, I always.
That was that was an established canon thing that I don't know, like Dave Filoni said or Pablo Hidalgo or something. I can't remember. But Grace, do you have a specific one? Did you say the hallway scene or was there something else?
Oh, I like the hallway scene and I like Twilight of the Apprentice. It's hard. I was gonna pick the scene at the end of Return of the Jedi when Luke and Vader are talking without the mask. I like that scene too, but honestly, I think I prefer both the hallway scene and Twilight of the Apprentice. So I don't know, nothing else to add.
I think my favorite one of my favorite Vader scenes is I would probably say when it's in episode 4 when he's in that room with all the other whatever Imperial guys, and he chokes that one.
Yeah.
And he pukes on the table, and you don't really realize that's what happened, but he actually puked on the table. What? Yeah, if you watch,
who got choked.
Yeah, he chokes the guy, and then he like goes down, and then there's yellow puke on the table where he puked.
I don't remember seeing that at all.
Wow.
Well, I think that's part of the half
we're
of
learning a lot of new
that
stuff
you don't
like.
like.
Empire Radio.
You didn't. Yeah, you should go watch it. You can see like a thing of puke on the table. And I thought that was like, what? Yeah, see.
Nate Keith says that was just a yellow button on the table.
Okay. Good.
All right. Well, as Andrew is looking up, still fact checking me, let's go to our final voicemail, all the way from the coup d'etat-verse, as the kids would. Oh.
Okay, so Wikipedia does say that the protocol droid U-3PO had also been secretly reprogrammed. Okay, so the crew did everything. So the Tantive 4 was being repaired in another ship during the Battle of Scarif, and they used it to escape before the repairs were completed. They immediately set course for Tatooine. Crew did everything in its power to keep the ship running due to the damage, which complicated their escape. While jumps to light speed generally left the ship untraceable, the ship's damaged hyperdrive left a unique energy signature that the Empire could follow. Unknown to all, the protocol droid U-3PO had also been secretly reprogrammed by the Empire to serve as an unwitting spy amongst the House of Organa. And as the droid happened to be aboard the Tantive 4, the Empire could also track the droid to find the ship.
Does it say how fast?
So 8 minutes, 3/4 of a parsec short of their destination, the hyperdrive motivator gave out, and the Tantive 4 was intercepted by the Imperial Star Destroyer following the battle. It looks like it was much faster than 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I always thought
now I need to know the full story now, though. Anyways.
All right. Well, anyway, the coup d'etat-verse is back.
Ooh.
And so I think the last couple of times he's kind of just hanging out with these former pirates and all these people that he's rescued and all that jazz. And he's kind of, I think last time he mentioned he's experimenting with his space powers that he had discovered months and months, like last year. But now he's starting to experiment with these force powers again. And so we picked him
space
back up.
Powers is what he calls.
Yep. So let's take a listen to Garrett's voicemail.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Garrett. We've been here on Sorgon for over 2 months now, and everyone is nice and settled in. Some of us have even started calling this home and refuse to leave when given the opportunity. I've had some time to explore the land surrounding us and have found some Force hotspots, I guess they can be called. I've enjoyed learning new things I can do with the Force. I can lift heavy objects without touching them, although it's still physically draining. I could also usually tell when things are going to happen before they do if I take a minute to focus. I've been able to commune with animals and tell them what to do, which comes in handy with Panther. I wonder if it works on people, too. But speaking of Panther, I actually do have a cat named Panther, and he's awesome. He always sleeps with me, lays next to me while I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws. He's a short-haired black cat with green eyes, which makes him look like a cat version of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, who just so happens to be my dream fantasy pet. If you could have one pet from any fantasy world, who or what would it be?
Ooh.
All right.
So well written.
Well, yep. Wow. Thank you, Garrett. That's
good job.
I'm happy to hear that you are growing in your Force abilities and that you're able to commune with animals. That's pretty cool.
Oh.
But his question is, any fantasy creature that we could take as a pet, what would it be? He says that his cat Panther looks like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And I've said a million times, How to Train Your Dragon 1, best animated film of all time.
Wait, so aggressive. Wild Robot.
Huh?
Wild Robot, the one that Mark Hamill's in coming up here. We saw a trailer for that before Beetlejuice, and I swear I almost cried during the trailer.
Oh,
it looks so good.
All right,
and Mark Hamill's in it.
Who is it by?
DreamWorks, I think.
Okay.
It's either DreamWorks or Pixar, and it's definitely not Pixar.
It's not Pixar.
Yeah.
It looks it looks really, really good.
Right.
Like probably one of the best animated movies in the recent years by a long shot. So anyway, but
all right.
Oh man.
Nate Keeney in the chat says Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Taking it all the way back.
Oh man.
That just seems a lot of work. I think dogs are work, just waiting to get a giant dog. Woo.
Oh, picking up after.
Oh
man.
Feeding it? You think Beethoven was bad.
I don't know. There's so many good options.
All right, I got one. I'm good.
Right. Who do you got, Drew?
I wanted Tauntaun.
Oh,
of course you do.
I think, dude, those winter months, Jeremiah can borrow him in the middle of winter. He can ride him to work and back. He doesn't have to take the bus. You can be outside. Like Jeremiah likes to be outside in the winter. You can have him in the winter, and in the summer, I can shave his hair. It'd be like a naked Tauntaun. It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Trying to practically take care of him, but I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. And we know what the inside of him feels like. It's lukewarm.
Every time Grace laughs at that
it's
joke.
so good.
Don't feed his ego, okay?
No, it's great. Literally.
I think both times Grace was on, I told the same joke and she forgot. It was hilarious.
Hey, I heard a great dad joke the other day. What's the best time of day?
What?
6:30, hands down.
Okay.
Get out. Get out.
I got it.
Get out. Thank you.
No. All right, fantasy animals. I don't know. A wolf would be pretty cool.
True.
Yeah.
But also toothless, like a Night Fury would be cool.
Yeah.
But
Direwolf from Game of Thrones, pretty cool.
Also,
a dragon. Who wouldn't want a dragon? Appa from Avatar.
Appa.
Top
5. Or Momo.
Yeah.
Momo.
Or Momo. Both.
No.
Momo's cute, but Appa's practical.
Fun. Yeah, but not as practical. Appa would be great.
Appa would be dope.
There's a part of me that's like a Pokemon.
Ooh. Gengar.
Gengar. Dude, I love
so dope.
I love
Pokemon.
Gengar. I love Gengar, but I feel like that would be a lot of trouble.
That's true.
Grace.
Grace.
Did you do your homework?
I completely forgot. When he said Pokemon, I was like, which one was I supposed to be? And then I remembered that I had an assignment.
Yeah.
Which was to buy a card, right?
Yep, Eevee. Because we said that if she had a favorite Pokemon, it would probably be Eevee. It would fit her really well. And her homework was to get a Pokemon card of Eevee.
Okay. That's honestly terrible. I literally never miss assignments or
Why is
don't
her
do my homework
to buy a Pokemon
Okay,
card?
so because
I'm gonna
we're talking
go do
about
that.
bookmarks and how you and Jeremiah both have Pokemon cards as bookmarks.
Yeah.
And then she told us that she didn't know anything about Pokemon at all.
Yeah, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's the best one.
No, that's aggressive.
Yeah, he is. He gives you a super good advantage over the first two gyms. And Ivysaur's a tank.
Yeah, but he's a tank.
Squirtle all the way.
Dude, no.
Charmander.
At least Drew and I can
water type for everything.
No,
I'd rather be a waterbender. It's way
unless you're facing an electric type, and then you're screwed.
Facts. Come at Pikachu.
What do you think, Grace? You like Eevee? That's your assignment.
Yeah.
All right.
Eevee.
My wife's favorite
Night
is
by
Eevee.
October. Yeah.
All right.
I would, but like a Pokemon would be fun. I feel like a Charizard.
Do Charizard.
Where you can ride it and it looks cool.
Yeah, but Charizard has an attitude problem. Like
Not all Charizard.
Well, that was just Ash's
Charizard.
Not all Charizard.
Yo, this is the most we've gotten Jeremiah to talk about Pokemon in a long time. This is fun.
It's kind of funny because I've been watching these. Somehow I got in my algorithm on YouTube for shorts.
Dude, YouTube is doing some weird stuff. I'm telling you.
Well, like I've been getting these like these collectors are like buying these expensive unopened packs and then opening them on camera to see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
They spend like $100 and they do.
Dude, I watched one the other day and they had a brand new Gen 1 pack and the guy did it as a prank and cut it in half.
Oh.
And then the holographic was Bulbasaur or Blastoise. was the holographic. I was like, this made me so mad. And the comments, they went off, bro.
Dude.
They went off. It was hilarious.
It's almost as bad as like throwing paint on the Mona Lisa. Well, it's not quite the same, but in my world it is.
It's in the same universe for sure.
But yeah, I would love to. I feel like Bulbasaur would be fun to have as a pet. Small, cute, loyal, but a Charizard you could ride.
Charmander would be cool too.
Yeah, especially in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
you
dude,
get a lot of use out of him.
Camping with him.
Oh yeah.
Never rather make fire again.
Mm-mm.
Freezing, your electricity goes out in the middle of winter.
Boom.
He got you.
There you go.
Huddle by his tail. But you gotta keep it warm. You gotta remember to keep it warm, or his flame will go out. And then,
dude, I feel like they made a whole episode out of that as like a story device, and then
never used it again.
Again.
Right, Grace?
We're boring Grace a lot now.
It's okay. I'm actually while you guys talk, I'm ordering my EV card on Amazon. It will arrive by September 17th. All right, it's on its way.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm
cool.
Committed.
Jeremiah's like, good. Let's get started.
All right. Any other last choices for fantasy creatures? Because I feel like there's a lot of like
we're missing so many good ones right now.
We're missing a lot. Like
does Dobby count?
No,
bro. Dobby isn't a pet.
No, I'm just kidding.
Weird. I was about to get heated for a second. I feel like maybe a hippogriff would be.
Wolf cat. I feel like Andrew, you would have one.
A loft cat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, loft cat would be fun. Hippogriff.
Or
what's a hippogriff?
From Harry Potter. The thing, the griffin thing, like scratches Draco Malfoy.
Oh, the 3-dog one from Harry Potter.
No,
as a guard dog.
Yeah, I guess.
You gonna leave Miles home alone with that thing? Anyway,
dude, you know, it'd be really cool.
I trust your kid with Cad Bane more than I would with that.
That's true. Did anyone ever watch Zoids?
Nope.
That's fine. It's very on brand for me to be the only one. Okay. So there were two Zoid series growing up. One was Zoids are.
Are you sure not trying to say droids? Because we did watch the first one and it was not
Zoids.
good.
It's literally called Zoids.
Oh, okay.
It was from Japan and it was Gundam, but they were all animals. So it was like cool. Big like mech animals and they fought with them. But then there was another series that was less about the fighting. It had more lore. And there was one that looked like a velociraptor. It was like kind of human sized. Think kind of like Grimlock from Transformers, but a little bit more modern looking and like human size.
Chat.
Keeney, go to bed. It's past your bedtime.
And it was like human size, and it was really loyal. It was a really cool pet, and it could go inside other like dead or like inactive Zoids and like bring them back to life and like fight for them. It was kind of cool.
Is it anime?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's dope.
I mean, are we surprised here?
No, I know. I need to look this up. This sounds dope.
Yeah, it was good. Zoids is one of those cult classics, but he would be cool as a pet. Godzilla?
No. All right. Thank you, Garrett, for your coup d'etat versus continuation. But we're waiting for a big climax. I know that first order is out there somewhere, and you've been hitting that force gym, so like we're trying to see what you're going to be doing in the future. So, but until then, if you want to get connected with Empire Radio more than just listening, go in the description, click the link, thelinks.co/Empire Radio, link spelled with 2 I's. Click that landing page for everything: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Join the Discord. Send in a voicemail. Send us an email if you want. There's a link for needlesslynerdy.com, which is the entertainment network they're a part of. So go check that out for other nerdy content. And I think that's everything.
Grace, and then Andrew, plug your stuff.
I know that Grace hasn't been doing anything for a while.
Kind of retiring my Instagram. People can follow it. It's at gals_of_the_galaxy, but I'm also trying to have a legal career, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to continue the cosplay and stuff. We'll see. It's on pause for now, but feel free to follow.
You're not you. You're
I'll be back
else
someday.
every time.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Do I have? I feel like I've done this before.
Yeah, but we do that every episode anyway.
All right, YouTube.
We do this too every time.
YouTube, Instagram, that K-pop guitarist. All one word.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
Well, anything else? All right. Well, you've been listening to another 4-host-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Grace.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.